What's going on, guys? Marcus from Wall Street Assassins back at it again with another video. But before we get started, make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button and let's get started. So over here, we're looking at the overall market. We can see that we basically previously in the past, we pushed up. Market was going sideways, just like anything else in the stock market. When it struggles to go higher, people will sell, and we're basically having a pullback, right? So we definitely want to watch to see as the market starts to pull back, where does it start to find some type of support. So we're over here on the 180-day chart. I think if we start to break above at least 450, 451, we can start pushing up towards 452, maybe even retesting that previous high. If not, if we start to break yesterday's low of 448, I think we could start basically pulling back down to 446, maybe even touching down towards 445, which is also the SMA indicator down here. So definitely want to keep an eye on things as things start to pull back, giving us great opportunities to possibly dip buy in many companies. So let's jump into other stock as well. But looking at the 20-day over here, you can see a nice descending step and staircase pattern over here. So definitely want to watch to see what happens over here, and if we start to break above that 451 and start pushing up towards 452, or break yesterday's low and start coming back down. A few stocks I want to talk about. Let's look at Tesla, right? So Tesla had a nice run up recently. This is the 20-day chart over here. You can see that Tesla basically pushed up from 725 all the way up towards the highs of 764, and it's basically pulled back down with the market. So definitely want to watch to see what happens with Tesla if it holds these highs. It hasn't been at these levels in quite a while. I think once we break that previous high of that 764, we can start pushing up towards 800. If not, and we start to pull back here, I think on the break of 749, we could start testing the 740s and maybe even getting lower from there. So keep an eye on Tesla. Next one I want to talk about is Netflix, right? So Netflix pushed up. We talked about it in yesterday's video as well too. We could see that we pushed up from 517 towards those 615 prices. 615 basically double top. You can see we hit it once here, we hit it twice, creating a point of resistance, and the stock basically started to fall, especially with the overall market dropping. That's not going to help the stock either. So definitely want to watch to see if it breaks that 615, if it could start pushing up to 620. Overall, I do think Netflix is a little bit on the overbought side, but it's been running overbought for quite a bit over here. So definitely want to watch to see what happens if it continues to hold up and break that 615 and go higher. If not, and we start to break 602, I think we could start dropping down towards like 593 and maybe even lower on that one. So other than that, jumping over towards Apple over here. Apple, another thing, right? Apple was going sideways. We spoke about it in yesterday's video. Now it's basically breaking out and holding these new highs. Apple is basically trading overbought as well, kind of double top when the market was pulling back as well, struggling to break above 157.26. I think if we get back up towards those levels, we could possibly see a high towards 160. If not, I think Apple could start basically pulling back. You can see it's finding some type of support. It's dropped and it's holding this level, right? This price that's having it holding as some type of support, keeping it from going down. So on the break of 154, I think we could start dropping down towards 152 on Apple. Next one I want to talk about is PayPal. So PayPal, we spoke about it yesterday as well too. You can see it basically pulled back with overall market. Very choppy chart over here, but I think once it breaks the SMA of 282, we could start dropping down towards 278. If not, we start to come back up 288, then we can start pushing up towards 290s and maybe even higher. So keep an eye on PayPal. A few other stocks I want to mention. Gamestop had earnings yesterday. It wasn't really the best of earnings. They didn't really speak anything after hours on the conference calls. I think it was pretty short. A lot of people didn't like that, but GameStop is very oversold over here. So we all know that GameStop is not really moved by fundamentals. Maybe people see that, hey, it's oversold. This may be a good buying point. So watch to see if we break above 192 and start pushing up towards those 200 levels. Set your alerts. And be on the watch out for GameStop to see if it starts to move. If not, and it starts to break this 176, I think we could probably have a panic sell from that 176 down towards 169, maybe lower, but I think it's very oversold and probably due for a bounce. So Watch out for GameStop. Another one I wanted to mention who had earnings yesterday, Lululemon, right? So Lululemon had earnings yesterday as well. Overall on the chart, we're looking at the 180-day 4-hour. Lululemon has basically been running from 269 all the way to the new highs, but previously the high was 416. Now the new high is 434 after that amazing earnings beat. And a lot of good talk has been being spoken about Lululemon, and a lot of traders are watching it. Overall, I think that the stock is a little bit more on the overbought side just because it just beat earnings. A lot of people just woke up, they hit the lottery, and now they're going to cash in their chips and basically start to sell. So wait for it to basically have another dip, and then possibly this could be a good long-term play once it gets back towards oversold levels. But definitely want to watch it for a possible pullback. Jumping over towards the 20-day chart over here, I think if it basically starts to break below 422, we could start testing those 417 levels, which was a previous high, and maybe even coming back down even lower. So watch out for that. Lululemon definitely had amazing earnings, but I do think that you definitely want to keep an eye on it, especially as it seems that it's hitting this 434 price point and going flat. Typically, when we see companies do that, it is in terms for a pullback. If you guys want to get in early, you probably could get in early from 430 down towards 422 for the possible pullback, right? If it breaks this 434, get a quick scalp towards 440, but I'm leaning more on the downside for this one. Last but not least, right? I think Oscar posted this in the chat room. But we basically, AMC has news, right? So AMC has never had any type of advertisement before, and they actually have a commercial now. So big news on that one. Thank you, Oscar, for basically posting that in the chat room. But looking at AMC over here, we can see that it basically pushed up. I want to jump over towards my 180-day chart over here. You can see it's been struggling with this basically $50 level over here. So we need to break above $50. Maybe this news could be the catalyst to basically push it up, but a break of $50 towards 52. If not, and it basically starts to break our support level at 46, I think we could basically start coming back down towards 42. Probably just come back. You can see it's basically been trading in a range over here between that $49 and this 42 level. So it's just basically been on a nice little roller coaster. So let's see if it pulls back. Maybe we could catch it low and ride it back up towards those $50 highs. So that's going to be it. Make sure you guys keep an eye on the overall market, especially since we've been on an overall downtrend. I think as I'm making this video, we're down $1. We see that we're pushing down towards those 449s. Yesterday's low was 448. So if we break that, I think we could definitely start coming down towards the SMA. If not, and we break that 451, we could start pushing up. So that's going to be it. Stay tuned for the next video. Make sure you guys like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys later.